Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today I'm actually doing my third pick. First I was going to do top 5 Warhammer games of an updated list, and I watched your old video and actually went, there's not a whole bunch of movement there, that seems a bit like wasted effort. So I thought, what can I do? And I decided, okay, right, well, we've got the mortuary and the morticians, mortuary assistant game. New horror game that's out. I thought, I'll get that. And then we can do like a let's play with a face cam. You can see me, crapping my pants. Stuff like that. And I bought the game and installed it. I thought, oh, right, okay, good. And then I got to thinking, there's going to be boobs in that. Boobs and horror. And what would YouTube being affectionately, or rather unaffectionately called prude tube by some people, I don't really have the time to edit out all of the boobies in order to get the video out this week. So I might do that as a separate video, like in its own right, and see how we get on. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, I am rather scare-worthy, as I proved in my previous experience in Afflicted the Manor. Hopefully this won't be quite as bad as it's not VR. But anyway, so my third choice for the day is a retro review of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I got this one Christmas back in day. Oh yes. I think it was Christmas 97, that's the year it came out, and I can't imagine me waiting around at Christmas to get this thing. I got it on PC. I believe there was supposed to be a PlayStation version, but that was cancelled. Just check. Oh no, it was on Mac as well. Yes, Mac as well. I really can't think anyone actually played it on Mac, but if you are, let me know. So it is a starship sort of simulator game with FMV. Now, there's a few things to say about this. It is set in the original series, so, or probably the movie timelines would be a better analogy. And you do have a few reappearing faces. So Kirk comes back, as does Chekhov and Sulu. And your character, who is called David Forrester, he's a cadet in Starfleet Academy, and he's the captain of a squad of cadets who do simulated missions together, and you have to watch the FMVs and occasionally make decisions, very much like Wing Commander 3 or 4 did. In fact, that's not the only similarity the game shares with Wing Commander, in that the flight model is distinctly more Wing Commander than it is Star Trek. When it came out, I played it on joystick. Yeah, I'm playing a Star Trek game on joystick, trying to get your mind around that. Nowadays, though, and I probably could fix it with some dicking around, but I'm only sort of capturing footage at the moment. I'll probably end up wanting to play it, so I probably will fix it. But currently, the only way you can pilot is in keyboard. It doesn't pick up my gamepad. I've got several other joysticks, including, my Warthog and stuff, so I can go through them and see if I can get one to work. It's probably more game port related than it is anything else, so I imagine there's probably a software fix floating around. And mouse, you can click things with your mouse and select things, but yeah, you can't drive your ship with it, unfortunately. So keyboard, so if the steering in the footage looks a bit herky-jerky, it's because I'm using the number pad. Yes, they didn't even do me the courtesy of the arrow keys. No, I have to use literally all of the number pad to do different things with my ship. But the combat is fast-paced. It is fun. You feel like you have a lot of options available to your ship, or at least I did at the time. It was before Bridge Commander, so it was really the first game that sort of put me in the captain's chair, so to speak. In a realistic fashion. Space Quest 5 don't count. Was it 4? I can't remember. The Next Mutation, that one, where you're captain of a garbage scow. Very amusing, but at the time it was as close to Star Trek as I could get. So yeah, the battles are a little bit fast. They did fix that in the sequel to this, which was Klingon Academy. They handle a lot more like sort of warships rather than fighters. But the most damning thing about this game that I can say is just the paper thinness of your nacelles. You'll go through a battle and you'll be like, right, done that. Time to go on. You press Shift and W and you're like, I'm not going anywhere. And then you look at the ship view and one of your nacelles is gone. And you're just like, right, well, that's me, fuck them. I'm restarting the mission. It's just like, what? There is... I honestly can't remember if it was changed, because this is like the gold edition I'm talking about now. So it might be slightly different. I will have to figure it out. But there wasn't really any cue that your nacelles were gone. You just got to the point where if your warp drive didn't work and it wasn't showing damage, then you looked at your external camera and you saw that you were probably down in a nacelle, or possibly both. Which meant you had to restart the mission, because obviously you couldn't go anywhere. I think you could call Starfleet and have them tow you in or something. I don't think I ever did that though, because it's just quicker to restart the mission, because that's essentially what you're doing anyway. The FMV stuff is, for the most part, okay acting. Is outside of the 3 cast members, and I think the Commandant, I've seen him from something else as well, but I don't know what. But the characters like of the crew, I've never seen them anything else. Forrester, who's supposed to be a cadet, looks closer to 40 than he does to 20. And he does a good job in the role, but yeah, he just looks a bit old. It reminds me of like Quantum Leap, when you've got Scott Bakula playing like a child or something, and that kind of like sums it up. But he's okay, you know, his acting and his voiceovers are fine. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of the storyline revolves around sort of classroom life, and there's a conflict that arises with a group of students that want to basically install Kirk as a despot. The Vanguard. Terrorist faction. So, yes, but they basically try and rile up the Klingons, so Kirk has to go sort them out and basically install him as like emperor kind of thing. So very, very mirror universe, but not. And obviously you're involved with sorting them out. You do get to play the Kobayashi Maru. That was a first, I believe, in this game. Unless it was in one of the Starfleet Command games. I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I played one of those. Maybe I should do one of those. So Kobayashi Maru, yep. And in fact, it does allow you to, I always remember this, to cheat. So you basically work with Chekhov, who works on the simulator for some reason. I don't know why. And you get left alone with it. So you have the option to basically program the Kobayashi simulation in different ways. Like the one I always went for was to make the Klingon captain respect me personally. Yeah. That sounds about right. So you go on the mission and you hell the Klingons, and instead of not answering and just like shooting you, like they have a tendency to do in that scenario, they actually answer. And the captain's like, "Oh, Captain Forrester! Oh, this is a great honour, sir. I did not realise it was you." And he just like takes his mates and fucks off. I was like, yes, ingenious. And of course you get caught. And you get like yelled at by Kirk, which is completely hypocritical on his behalf. And so you can say, well, you did it, which is obviously gets a negative reaction. Or you can just take your lumps, which gets a more positive reaction. But it was just a nice little shout out. I like stuff like that, where it's like you can do something a bit funny. Whereas I think the other option was like you can make the Klingons like easier to beat and just shoot them all. But like I just like little the fantasy he creates inside the simulator. There are quite a lot of cutscenes in it, obviously using FMV as well. So you'll, say, scan something, and sometimes it will cut to an FMV scene of your science officer, Sturrock, who is a Vulcan, because that's the law. All science officers must be Vulcan. who will then sort of describe what he scanned and what it might be and postulate and stuff like that and give you clues on how to proceed with the mission. And then there's other ones where you hire the ships and their captains have acted. And the simulator missions come down to basically there's this, well, not new race. I'm not even sure if it was canonically in Star Trek before this, but it's the Venturi. And they have these butterfly ships that are a pain in the arse and have a really good knack of taking your damn nacelles off. And sometimes you'll be fighting multiple ones of them. So, like, if your shields are down, then you're going to be walking home, essentially. But yeah, I mean, they're sort of aggrieved against the rest of the galaxy because they haven't been helped, and now they've sort of, like, I won't completely spoil it, but they've got this technology together and are, like, after the rest of the galaxy for not helping when they had the chance. Sounds a bit whiny, but I'm sure I've seen the makeup of the Venturi, like, in other things Star Trek related. So I don't know whether it was just repurposed makeup. I'm not sure which way, or whether the race is actually in other things. I think they recolored it pink and did one. I see a pink man in a loose shirt with claws. I can't remember where that came from though. I think that was Next Gen. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure the makeup is the same for him as it was for the Venturi. So there you are. It is a nice slice of original series content. The gameplay is, as its downsides, especially if I can't get the joystick working, because yeah, and to be fair, playing it with a joystick is a bit anyway. You do have crew members, but you can't like make them fly the ship or anything and just sit back as the captain. I mean, this is no bridge commander, or what was it? Crew commander? Bridge crew commander? I can't remember the Ubisoft one for VR. So you can't make them do that. You get them to, like, you can repair stuff and look a bit closer at science and launch probes, and you can even set your phasers to disabling. You've got a tractor beam. Some missions require you to, like, drag stuff away from stuff or bring it to a dead stop. So it does have, like, all of the Star Trek sort of trappings to it, and of course it feels very Star Trek as well, what with, you know, 3 of the main cast coming back. It's just the gameplay's a bit dogfightery. And you know, the story isn't the best. There is some good parts, but you've essentially got 2 stories. One is the simulator one is bad aliens, as you can get, and this whole school storyline is interesting, but it's resolved quite easily because obviously you've got no input into the cutscenes and you just make decisions, and most of the time if you don't act like an asshole, it's going to be the right one. It did come, I believe, on 4 discs when I originally got it. I did get the original one from good old Interplay. Is now available on GOG though, so I think it's a 3.1 gig install, and you don't have to worry about disc swapping, which is nice. You do have to worry about your joystick working though, but as I say, I can probably get around that. So anyway, guys, that is Starfleet Academy. I don't know, it's one of the earlier games I've spoken about in '97. That's quite a long time ago now. In fact, that's, seeing as I can remember getting the game, that seems an incredibly long time ago. God, I'm old. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you're an original series fan. You get to fly all manner of different ships. So I think there's 4 or 5. I can't remember. I know you can get Oberth, Miranda, Constitution, and I think Excelsior. I'm not sure about that one. It's been a long time since I've gotten that far into it, to be fair. I have completed it back in the day. But yeah, so if you want like a palate cleanser from today's Star Trek, which, let's face it, is pretty bloody terrible. Although I hear, Strange New Worlds isn't that bad. Yeah, that's a bit of a return of form. But I just can't bring myself to watch Star Trek. And I did like the first two and a bit seasons of Discovery and the first season of Picard. And I hate Discovery, so I stopped watching it. But like Picard really sort of stuck the boot in for me, because it wasn't just like these people I don't give a shit about, like doing weird things and crying a lot. This is like one of my favourite characters. This is like Captain Jean-Luc Picard being fucking weird and violent. Oh no, just oh. And like the one thing I always point out to people is like, so there's this. What I'm trying to think out a phrase about spoiling, but do we really care about Star Trek Picard? Do we? No, we don't. Okay, so I think Soji is like one of the three android sister people, and they go and visit Will Riker, and like when she's speaking to Will Riker, she tilts her head, and you're like, oh, that's funny. She did a data head tilt. It's the first time she's done that. I ain't seen her do that all season. And then about 5 minutes later, Riker's talking to Picard and go, she's an android, isn't she? He's like, how did you know? Oh, she does the data head thing. And you're just like, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Oh, it was just, I was just like, oh God. And of course the ending was just like, okay, well, you gonna do anything interesting with it? Like, you know, not make him a feeble old man. Oh no, your android body is feeble old man android body, so no, you don't get any benefit. I die when you want to die as well, so it's, you know, we should have just let you die right now, but we wanted another season to fleece people of their money, and apparently the next season's even worse, but I'm not going to watch it, so who cares? Yes. Anyway, I feel as though I got a bit sidetracked at the end there. Well, I started as I meant to continue, so whatever. Okay, so that's Starfleet Academy. I would highly recommend picking up. I don't think it's too expensive on GOG. I think it's like about £5-10, something like that. Worth a go. It runs fine, apart from the whole control issue. But don't go in expecting like Bridge Commander or anything sort of brand new. The gameplay isn't that. As I said, it's much more similar to like Wing Commander 3 than any of the newer stuff. But outside of that, yeah, it's clearly Wing Commander with Star Trek. I think that's the best way of summing it up. And I don't think that's a bad thing, personally. Anyway, guys, I think I've been going on long enough. I've got no idea how long I've been going on for, so hopefully not too long. And I'll catch you next time. You take it easy.